Hello friends, it seems that Gamergate 2 just dropped in my brief absence, and it is already leaps and bounds more insane than what happened back in 2014. For the sake of clarity, if some of my dear viewers are unaware of the original Gamergate, I will post a link in the description below for a series of videos that's been condensed into one long video by the internet aristocrat, who goes by the name of Mr. Metaker today. He exhaustively and clearly reported on what happened way back when, so feel free to watch those videos. They're spectacular. I'll just cut to the chase, though. Gamergate 2 is not anything like what happened 10 years ago. Today, we are in the midst of a cultural war that is transparently opposing heterosexuality. Of all things to oppose. That's what they're deciding to oppose now. It's just bizarre. Now, when I say cultural war, I use that phrase because it is widely accepted. However, if I were to redefine what is happening today, I would change it to a morality war. Liberals have been hypnotically brainwashed into believing that heterosexuality is evil, and homosexuality is morally superior. So, believe me when I say that if the Bolsheviks get complete control over our way of life, they will undoubtedly criminalize heterosexuality. Now, is that a realistic goal? I would say probably not, but it doesn't mean they won't try. You can roll your eyes and call me crazy all you want, but there's no other interpretation for comments and articles like these. Gamergate 2 has evolved, or maybe even devolved, into a war of morality. You have the rainbow cult daring to exalt their sexual deviancy against the fundamental defining nature of procreation. The Stellar Blade situation has violently ripped off the veil. There's no longer any need to lie about what we are fighting for and against. This is not just about censorship, even though, sure, censorship is one of the issues regarding Stellar Blade, but I consider the censorship issue as, like, collateral damage. The main concern here is that the Marxists hate heterosexuality, and by extension, they also hate real women. This is why we have video games depicting women with man jaws, the kind of wide, thick jaws that could plow snow. This is intentional. You cannot convince me that there is a lack of technological sophistication to capture a woman's face properly. After all, Asian countries don't seem to have an issue capturing a woman's model's likeness. Why is it only Western developers who seem to be inept at properly rendering a female? This is to, and this is what I believe, this is to condition the player into believing that trans is the new beauty standard. They are attempting to inundate us with their trans aesthetics to convince us that their sexual deviancy will become the new standard by which all will become attracted to. But here's some bad news for the Marxists. Straight men will never become attracted to other men. There's a word for that. And speaking of which, the same people who celebrated The Last of Us 2's trans romance scene are the exact same people convulsing in a conniption fit upon seeing Eve from Stellar Blade. The same people who celebrated Baldur's Gate 3's bestiality romance option are losing their minds over Stellar Blade. The same people who celebrated the design of Aphrodite in Hades 2 are foaming at the mouth calling Eve hypersexualized. The hypocrisy is palpable. The excuses on Twitter are many. And the replies are just as illogical as their own twisted rainbow cult religion. For the last time, inclusion was a lie. It was a red herring. All they needed was a foot in the door, like a vampire asking for permission to enter. As I said, Gamergate 2 has snowballed into something much bigger than mere wokeness. This is, as I've mentioned before, is a war of morality. Their sexual deviancy is their moral law. Clearly, they are allowed to indulge in every conceivable sexual vice in existence. But heaven forbid there's an attractive female in a Korean video game, where the protagonist is modeled after a real person. Which brings me to my last major topic, which is dangerous. I wish to highlight the supremely unnerving, yet ideologically bankrupt attempt to label all who appreciate the female form as the P word. I am noticing this a lot on Twitter, or X if you must, and have noticed plenty of articles defending P word. Which is odd. Why would the Marxist liberal rainbow cult left want to drag that word into this conversation? Didn't they just spend the past couple of years defending that behavior? Well, I think the answer to that is pretty simple. Their hope is to use the same tactics that they have been using for the past 10 years. Name-calling. They're hoping that the old and tired ad hominem game will work one last time. They are hoping to shock you into submission. That was the cultural push for using phrases like bigot, homophobe, etc. They were hoping to embarrass us by calling us the thing that we obviously, unanimously oppose. All that is just more fear-mongering, and that's all they have left. But the good news is, they all know that they're losing. Heck, even Fink even admits to losing mass amounts of money because we refuse to fund their wokeness. They seem to have forgotten that they are incapable of forcing us to participate in their stupid reindeer games. All we must do is simply not buy anything that they are selling, and they can't do anything about it. And that's pretty much it. All we need to do is quadruple down on financially bankrupting them and opposing their wickedness at every turn. And that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, and remember to do all the fun social stuff. I am now on Twitter, so you can find me there. Gab will always be my home, so that's really the go-to place to find me. Hit me up. I'm loads of fun. And until next time, have fun.